I'm Jack Bunker.
I'm Logan Moraro.
I'm Carter House.
And this is how to diminish the negative effects of overconsumption on the environment.
Now, what is the problem at hand? We as a human race are unable to reuse and recycle goods and products, and only about 32% of plastics are recycled in America. The estimated other 68% are exported overseas. Our second issue is the mass amount of carbon emissions and greenhouse gases being emitted into our atmosphere, contributing to global warming. Our third issue is over-extraction. We are extracting the Earth's resources 1.7 times faster than the Earth can regenerate. This leads to less material for future generations and slower growth rates. Now, who does this affect? This is causing concerning health risks to the current populations and potential impactful effects to future generations. Also, further effects to future generations are limited materials, and they're faced with rapid global warming. Our third, impacts wildlife impact due to the extraction of their habitat and the decrease in biodiversity. Now, when and where is this an issue? Historically, this became an issue during the Industrial Revolution due to the increase in manufacturing and the increase in mass production. But currently, this is an issue around the globe, and in worst cases, in countries such as Canada, USA, and China. But it can also be most commonly found in developing countries due to excess resource consumption. And finally, why is this relevant? Resource depletion is a huge issue that is closely related to the decrease in biodiversity and the worsening environmental stability. And climate change is a result of many of these acts and continue to worsen as consumption rates continue to rise. And finally, we need to make a change for future generations before they experience limited materials, health risks, and extreme pollution rates.
So based off of those problems and implications, we came up with a research question: what are the best solutions to mitigate the effects of overconsumption on the environment? And our solution was to convert used goods and resources into renewable energy through different processes, like mine being solar panels, Jack's being textiles, and Carter's being chemical recycling.
In this article from A Breakthrough, we see this quote. It says, energy potential of cotton waste as a renewable source of thermal energy. This cotton waste is called cotton briquettes, and it can lower energy costs by 80% compared to traditional oil and gas methods.
Transforming plastics into sustainable power. This is done by using used goods and non-reusable products and converting them into usable energy through the process of chemical recycling. And according to Tom King in the Marsh article, these methods break down plastics, remove any impurities, and while also providing an alternate source of energy. And this process allows for clean properties of fuel, so when burned, leave a lower carbon footprint. And just to show the amount of emissions, this image from Energy Data provides us with the concentration of carbon emissions around the globe.
According to Earth.org, China is one of the largest greenhouse gas emitters, but they're also responsible for a 75% increase in solar PV installations, and this is by Olivia Lang. And as you can see in my graph, China is importing some of Canada's solar panels with 21%, and that is massive growth compared to all the other countries. And solar panels are also very beneficial because they last up to 25 to 30 years, but they also 90% of the solar panels can be recycled, and that includes the glass, the aluminum wiring, and the junction box. And solar technologies are advancing, so they'll be able to last longer and be able to recycle more of the solar panels.
Now for our alternate solutions. Our first alternate solution was to monitor and regulate consumption levels in households. This could raise some privacy concerns among citizens just due to companies and even government intruding on the home and monitoring what everybody's consuming. Also, it's not very efficient because there's a lot of people in the world, and it's hard to monitor what everybody is consuming, and some people may not report what they're consuming.
our second alternate solution was to set regulations on fashion companies, and this would limit the amount of imports countries are able, the amount of products countries are able to import, and this includes clothing, plastics, and just a bunch of things that people overconsume. But the problems and limitations are we cannot reach all of these countries and companies, and this includes like Shein. They mass produce lots of products for cheap, but there is a big cost for how much products they are producing and the amount of products that are not being recycled and turned into energy and all that.
Now for some limitations and implications for our own solution. It's hard to reach our target audience just because all consumers and businesses may not participate in using the renewable sources of energy. Also, the three solutions are hard to implement just because of a variety of industries that fall under these three solutions. Also, some of the waste is hard to reuse just due to the fact that it's been sitting out for a while and breaking down, and it can be hard to turn that into a reliable source of energy for us.
Now, why is our solution the strongest? These three solutions cover a wide variety of consumption globally and help to mitigate the effects of overconsumption. While doing this, this also allows or provides ways of converting it into renewable energy, which can lower the global energy profile. And this is done through three processes, as we already spoke about. Chemical recycling, which converts plastics into renewable energy, and Logan's theory, which converts used and old solar panels to convert them into new and usable. And finally, Jack's textile waste, which converts cotton waste into renewable energy.
Return to our solution. Our solution was to convert used goods and resources into renewable energy to lower pollution and carbon emission. In this graph from Statistica, we can see that carbon emission rates have gone up 60% since 1990, and this is really detrimental for our environment. So if we were able to implement these three solutions, we would be able to lower our production rates, and in turn, we would lower our pollution rates. And also, our three solutions are actively being thought about as a way of lowering our pollution and carbon emission rates. And these are our citations. Thank you.
Carter, in what way did you improve your ability to work with a group as a result of this project?
I felt like during this project, we worked together as a group to build off each other's ideas, and it allowed me to stay up with my deadlines so that we could work together through the slides and build off each other's ideas.
Logan, reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem that your group identified?
I feel like Jack had the biggest impact on my work because, or the main problem, because Jack was in the goods, and I feel like lots of people overconsume clothing and just stuff they don't really need. They're just consuming them to look cool and maybe in the fashion industry. And I feel like Jack came in with an idea to stop over-consuming clothing, and that was a great idea.
And Jack, what was the strongest counter-argument to the solution that your team identified, and what makes you say that?
Probably the strongest counter-argument is that there's a lot of industries that fall under these solutions, like solar panels, obviously fashion industries, and then just a lot of companies produce plastics. So I'd say that's probably the strongest, just because it would take a lot of people to implement all three solutions and totally reduce our pollution and carbon emission rates due to overconsumption.